Have you ever felt like success is too far away? Like no matter how hard you try, life keeps pushing you back? What if I told you that hard work always pays off, but only if you refuse to give up? This is the story of Ethan, a boy who learned that success is not about luck, it's about determination. Ethan grew up in a small town with his mother and younger sister. His father had passed away when he was just 6 years old, leaving the family struggling to survive. His mother worked 2 jobs, cleaning houses in the morning and working as a cashier at night. Even then, money was never enough. Ethan saw how tired his mother looked every day. He wanted to help, but what could a 12-year-old do? He wasn't old enough to get a real job, but he was determined to find a way. One evening, while walking home from school, he noticed an old man fixing a broken fence outside a grocery store. The man looked exhausted. Ethan stepped forward and asked,
"Sir, do you need help?
The old man wiped the sweat from his forehead and nodded.
If you can hold these boards for me, that would be great."
Ethan spent the next hour helping the man, holding the wooden planks and passing tools. When the job was done, the old man smiled and handed Ethan $5.
You worked hard, kid. That deserves a reward.
Ethan stared at the money in shock. He had just earned his first paycheck. He ran home, excited to show his mother. That night, as he lay in bed, an idea formed in his mind.
If I can work hard and help people, I can earn more money. And maybe, just maybe, I can change our lives.
The next morning, he left early for school, but took a different route. He looked around carefully, searching for anything that needed fixing or anyone who needed help. At the town's bakery, he saw the owner struggling to carry heavy flour bags. Ethan ran over.
Need a hand, sir? The baker looked at him and nodded. If you can help stack these inside, I'll pay you a little something. Ethan worked fast, lifting and arranging the sacks neatly. In just 30 minutes, he had earned another $5. That was the moment he knew. Opportunities were everywhere. For the next few weeks, Ethan took every chance he could find. He mowed lawns, helped at the grocery store, and even carried luggage at the bus station. People in town started recognizing him. "That's the hard-working boy," they would say. But not everyone was impressed. Some kids at school laughed at him.
Ethan ignored them.
He had bigger dreams.
One day, while helping a mechanic at a car repair shop, Ethan met Mr. Adams, a businessman who had come to get his car fixed. He watched Ethan working hard and asked,
"Why are you doing all these jobs at such a young age?"
Ethan wiped his hands and replied,
"Because I want a better life for my family. I don't want to be poor forever."
Mr. Adams smiled.
"You have the right mindset, son. Hard work is the key to success. But tell me, do you have a plan?"
Ethan hesitated. He was working hard, but he had never thought about a plan. What was his next step? That night, Ethan couldn't stop thinking about Mr. Adams's question.
Did he have a plan?
He was working hard, earning small amounts of money. But what was his goal? The next morning, Ethan sat down with his mother.
"Mom, I want to do more than just odd jobs. I want to start my own business."
His mother smiled, but she looked concerned.
"That's a big step, Ethan. What kind of business?"
Ethan had thought about it. He noticed that many people in town needed help with small tasks, cleaning yards, running errands, delivering groceries. He could create a service where people could hire him for different jobs. But there was one problem. He needed money to buy supplies. Then he remembered Mr. Adams. The next day, Ethan found him at the repair shop.
"Sir, I have a business idea. I want to start a service where I help people with their small tasks. I just need a little money to buy tools. Would you be willing to invest in me?"
Mr. Adams raised an eyebrow.
"Why should I invest in you?"
Ethan stood tall.
"Because I work harder than anyone. I don't waste time, and I always do my best."
Mr. Adams smiled.
"That's a great answer. I like your determination. I'll give you $50, but it's not a gift. It's an investment. I expect you to pay me back."
Ethan's eyes lit up. Deal. With the money, he bought a rake, a broom, cleaning supplies, and business cards. He named his service Ethan's Helping Hands. At first, he struggled. Not everyone trusted a young boy to do a good job. But Ethan never gave up. He worked harder than ever, making sure every task was done perfectly. Slowly, word spread.
"That kid does great work."
A shopkeeper told his neighbor.
"He cleaned my yard better than anyone else,"
said another. Soon, Ethan had more jobs than he could handle. He had to hire his friends to help him. His small service was turning into a real business. One evening, as he counted his earnings, he realized something. He had saved up more than $100. For the first time in his life, Ethan felt something new: hope. Ethan sat at the kitchen table, staring at the money he had saved. $100. It was more than he had ever imagined earning on his own. But he knew this was just the beginning. His mother sat beside him and smiled.
You've worked so hard, Ethan. I'm proud of you.
But Ethan wasn't satisfied yet.
Mom, I want to do more. I don't just want to work. I want to build something bigger.
The next morning, he made a decision. It was time to expand. Ethan printed more business cards and handed them out all over town. He offered new services like painting fences, washing cars, and delivering groceries. He even created a schedule to manage his growing list of customers. But he had a problem. He couldn't do everything alone anymore. So Ethan hired two of his friends, Luke and Jordan, to help him. At first, they weren't as hardworking as he was.
Why do we have to work so hard?
Jordan complained. Ethan looked at him and said,
Because hard work pays off. If we do a great job, people will keep calling us and we'll make more money.
Slowly, his friends started working harder. They saw how much Ethan cared about the quality of the work, and they followed his lead. By the end of the year, Ethan's Helping Hands was the most trusted service in town. Customers didn't just call for small tasks anymore. They wanted long-term help. One day, Ethan received a call from Mr. Adams.
Ethan, I heard your business is growing. I think it's time you learned how to manage money and invest wisely. I want to teach you business skills.
Ethan couldn't believe it. The man who had first invested in him was now offering to be his mentor. Under Mr. Adams's guidance, Ethan learned how to save, invest, and expand. His business went from just him and his friends to a team of workers helping people all over town. Years later, Ethan wasn't just a boy running errands. He was a successful business owner. One evening, he walked into his home, placed an envelope on the table, and looked at his mother. "Mom, open it." She opened the envelope and gasped. Inside was a check for a down payment on a new house.
We don't have to struggle anymore, Mom. We finally made it.
Tears filled her eyes as she hugged her son. Ethan had turned hard work into success, not through luck, but through dedication and perseverance. And that's the lesson. Success isn't about where you start. It's about how hard you're willing to work. Like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories.